Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Align and Thrive, Live Your Truth. It's Rosalie Dodonna here, and today we're going to talk about why you're still exhausted even after all of the inner work that you've been doing. Five unexpected energy drains nobody really talks about. Let's see. So you've been doing the work, the inner work, right? Trying to heal, journaling, meditating, um, acknowledging your inner child, all the things, right? Breath work, yet you're still exhausted, right? You're still not feeling at home in your body. Then this episode is because it's not that you're broken, it's not that it's not working. It's likely that you're still leaking energy in certain ways that you're unconscious of. So, today we're going to break down five unexpected energy drains that you might be carrying so that you can take your power back and feel more energized in your body. Number one, over processing your healing journey. So, what this is you're in a constant state of analyzing your inner world, right? You are trying to find the root cause of why you feel certain things. You're trying to decode every trigger, explain every emotion, and just over intellectualizing your healing journey. So, for example, um, somebody who is at dinner and is not fully present because they are, you know, reliving something that happened in their childhood and thinking about what wound was activated and how it like showed up in an argument they had that day and just it's not she's not living in the present moment and intellectualizing and over analyzing every aspect of their healing journey is becoming a drain. It's over processing. It's their brain and their body's going into overdrive, um, and that is just sucking all the energy from their existence. So, while healing is a time for reflection and to think about and look at how far you've come or what you've gone through and process them, there's also a time to just be, because you can never really heal until you feel safe in your body. So if you're constantly reliving something and analyzing it over and over in your brain, and what happens is people don't realize the way your brain works is you put something in and it spits it out times 100, 1,000, right? So if you're putting in these analytical thoughts and over processing all these ideas of your hurts, your past hurts, your wounds that you might still carry, and what somebody did to you when you were 10, and all the things, your brain, the focus and intention and attention is on those things. And then your brain thinks, oh, okay, let's just produce more of that, which can lead to more anxiety, it can lead to um, depression, it can lead to just not feeling good and then wondering why it's doesn't seem to be working, all the inner work that you're doing, right? So recognize this pattern and understand that healing comes when you feel safe in your body. Because when we're over intellectualizing, when we're over processing and analyzing our past hurts, the energy is up here in our brain, and we're no longer grounded in our body, in our energy, and it becomes this frazzled, ungrounded energy where we just disassociate almost from our body, right? We're not feeling the feelings in our body, we're not returning to um our own grounded feeling in our body. So then your body never feels safe, and though then you never able to have the healing that you want, right? um so you can't overthink your way and then into your healing and then expect peace, right? When your brain is constantly going 100 miles per minute. So, you know, so for that first one, instead of over intellectualizing something and processing it and looking at it over and over again from all these different views, which, I totally understand. I'm that type of brain too. Um, recognize it comes to a certain point where you can drop and feel into your body. If you're thinking about a past hurt or wound, no longer think about it. Think, where do I feel this in my body? And then ask your body for the wisdom of what it needs in order to process and release that energy, and you will receive the answer. So instead of playing it over and over again in your mind, you're dropping down into your body, accessing the energy that is stuck there, and truly letting it go and releasing it, and then so you can move on instead of ruminating on it. Number two, taking energetic responsibility for others. So what it is, you take on the emotions, triggers, and healing of others as your own responsibility. That's a lot of pressure, right? um, so, you, instead of saying, um, grounded in your own energy, instead of being the true, you know, sovereign being in your own space, in your own body, you're starting to outsource all this energy because you want to control other people's experience. And this can happen to a lot of healers or people who are coaches or people that work in service-based businesses, because they want this outcome for their clients so badly, um, that they put so much pressure and responsibility on themselves to get this outcome for them. But the reality is, we are not, and you are not, responsible for anyone else's healing other than your own, right? We can guide, we can help, we can coach, right? We can teach, but really the responsibility lies within that own individual. Um, so recognize, and people might see this as, oh, well, then that means I don't care, or um, we've been taught like we have to care to the point of burnout, to where we sacrifice ourselves in order to show that we care about other people. But really, you can be compassionate without having to carry everything, without having to control everything, without having to put all the pressure on yourself in order to fix someone, right? Because and that just lacks boundaries, which then leaks your energy, which then equates to exhaustion, right? So when you preserve your own self, when you focus on your own energy, and you have those energetic boundaries, and you come with a full cup, then your ability to show up and serve, with that pure energy and intention of truly wanting to serve someone else, instead of trying to prove, that you're good at what you do, or that you can do it, or that you helped some heal someone. It just becomes more energizing when you can come from that authentic place of, I value myself, I take ownership over myself, I see someone else as capable, as their own individual who is empowered to take ownership over their own healing. And I'm just here to mirror that to them. I'm just here to help facilitate that for them. Then you can have, you know, less exhaustion and more energy to do what you came here to do and serve others. Number three, bypassing discomfort in the name of staying high vibe. So, what it is, you skip over all these uncomfortable emotions and you force positivity in the name of holding a high vibration or to manifest. And I think this is so interesting because there's so many times where I've, coached or helped someone, or just, lended an ear, and people beat themselves up over feeling sad about something, or being mad, or letting someone get under their skin and respond in a certain way. And they immediately punish or judge themselves because they didn't stay high vibe. But when you try to put on this facade of, I'm high vibe, like I don't um, act in those ways, that is a show, that is a performance, that is inauthentic, and that's exhausting. That is draining your energy. So, and on the same note, like people think, oh, well, I can't manifest this outcome if I don't stay high vibe the whole time. And that is completely false. That is completely false. Um, because I've had some of my hugest, most transformational manifestations where I was in constant turmoil. Like the my prime example for this is my daughter in the hospital at 23 weeks, being born extremely early at 1.5 pounds. I was distraught. I was on the verge of just like hopelessness and super fearful, super just not good, in a really dark, dark place. But that experience taught me that we can consciously choose our state of being and the frequency we embody at any time. And we can do it from a place of surrender, through a place of faith, even though we might not see even though the outcome might not be there yet, we can choose to hold that way of being. And I wasn't perfect in doing that, right? Because obviously my baby's fighting for her life in the hospital. And there were times where I turned back to hopelessness, where I felt like thinking really dark things and thinking nothing was gonna amount to anything, and then guilting myself for being a terrible mother, and like how could I do, like it was my fault, and it's just like a roller coaster of emotions. um but if you can keep your vibration in just even, you know, higher than those, like for example, if 52% of the time you are in that state of what you're embodying and becoming and holding that frequency of the experience that you, the outcome that you are desiring and holding in your mind's eye, then it can still come. It can definitely still come to fruition. And what I think is the most powerful is when we can be truly authentic with all aspects of our being and hold that capacity of the full spectrum of emotions and recognize that we have a choice, um, and then choose it. And by choosing it, um, by being authentic in that way and realizing, yes, I'm feeling this way. Now I'm feeling that way. But now I consciously choose to surrender control to the divine, because we don't really truly have control over everything that happens. And then trust and have faith that things are going to work out for my highest good no matter what. And hold in my mind's eye what that is. Um, and be grateful for that outcome in the present moment. So for me, that looked like being grateful that my daughter was alive, being grateful that I was her mother, being grateful that I got to do these things with her even though we were in the hospital, like all this stuff. And now she's perfectly healthy and whole and a miracle, right? She's a so there's just, this idea that we have to be perfect in order to manifest certain things that we want is completely untrue. And I have another example with my husband manifesting um my soulmate. My husband doesn't like that word, but having this divine union with another person. I was once I become conscious of what I needed to do to manifest this partner, I was like, whoa, I have so much work to do, because I was not embodying the type of person that would have that partner as a match. And just the act of being conscious of that and the intention to pursue and become the match to that person immediately drew my husband to me. Like it happens, so it'll happen more quickly than you even think, right? Um, so don't believe that you have to be high vibe 100% of the time in order to manifest or do things the right way, right? That's just completely untrue and it drains your energy. Let's see. Do-do-do. Because again, in those instances, you're suppressing things, you're keeping things down, you're acting, you're putting on a performance, and that just drains your life force energy. Um, Number four, prolonged indecision. So, staying in limbo for weeks, thinking you need to gain clarity before you take action, um, constantly putting off things because you don't know what to name it or what to which what color to pick or what packaging or what you should include in your offer, all these different things. And this is funny because you might you know meditate on it, you might pull some oracle cards or do a tarot reading for yourself or ask God for a sign and do all the things to prolong your indecision. And this, it's not that any of those things are bad. Like, I do all of those things, but there is a fine line where it becomes an energy draining situation because what's you have to really become aware and see, is all of this because I'm looking for connection, I'm looking for um guidance from source, from God, or is it because I'm fearful and I'm scared of because I already know the answer and I'm using all this to delay taking action? And that is draining your energy, right? So the truth is, like, clarity comes while you're taking the action. So you need to have that faith, right? And that courage to just take the first step, and regardless of if you have the perfect clarity over if it was the right choice, because in the end all of it is the right choice, right? And that's not saying like you should just be super irresponsible with your choices, but there comes a point where you have to recognize um and just be willing to do what you're meant to do. And if you're not sure you're meant to do it, but it's pretty damn close, then do it. Just do it. And then the clarity will come after that, right? And there there are no mistakes if you are holding your connection with source in high regard, reverence, and you have that relationship with God, with the universe, with your higher self, whatever you want to call it. And it's this two-way stream of information where you can pivot, you can change, you can decide, okay, I'm not going to do that offer anymore, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to create a course, or whatever it is. You're not just stuck to one decision that you've made, right? So many people don't realize that all of this indecision comes from fear because they're either afraid of taking the action or afraid that they will fail. And that is what's draining your energy, right? Even though you might be thinking, I'm living in alignment, I'm listening to what source and God, my higher self, is telling me to do, but it's masked with this indecision because you're fearful of what you have to do and being afraid of making mistakes along the way. So be aware of that and notice, how does it feel when I'm tuning in to source, to God, to any divine messages that are coming through. And if it's draining, then that's a sign for you to just start, right? Find um, something that resonates most with you and just start, and things will become a lot clearer from there. Number five, worshiping strategy over self trust. So what it is, relying on other people's formulas or step-by-step instructions and systems on how to show up in your business or in your life instead of cultivating your own self-trust within you. So for example, this might look like investing in um, certain programs, even though they felt misaligned, still taking what that program told you to do and doing it in your business or implementing into your life, into your relationships, whatever it might be. And feeling like the dissonance of this doesn't align with the truth of who I am. but doing it anyway, that is extremely draining, right? Because you're disconnecting from who you truly are, and you're overriding your own sense of self-worth and truth because you are prioritizing someone else's truth, someone else's word over yours. And that is extremely draining because you're literally handing over your power to someone else saying, oh, you must know everything. I need to follow what you're doing, even though I know in my heart this is not the right thing for me. Because strategy is only powerful when it's rooted in soul alignment. Somebody might have all the success in the world and tell you this is the best thing to do in your business, but if it doesn't resonate with your soul, it's not guaranteed it's going to bring you the same success as it did that person, right? And the truth is, you already know what's right for you. You have the blueprint within you, and you just have to trust yourself. And I've had this experience too, where I've worked with different business coaches, and not all of it is doesn't resonate, right? But there are some clear things that is like, whoa, that I understand that's gotten you a lot of success, and you've seen 10K months or whatever it is, 5K months, 20K months with this, but when I try to implement that, it just doesn't resonate. And what happens is not only does it drain your energy because you're being inauthentic, it doesn't work for you because people can sense that it's out of alignment for you and it repels, right? That energy is repelling. So the right clients aren't going to find you anyway. And the people that do find you probably are not going to be aligned with you anyway because you're acting from a place of performance instead of being true to who you are, right? So it's just a win. I mean, it's just a lose all around if you are just prioritizing someone else's strategy, someone else's way of doing things over what you know in your soul to be true for you. And this isn't to say like you shouldn't get any help from anyone or never sign up with a coach or never do a course again, but it is to help you become aware and tune into your body and your soul of what truly resonates for you. And then have the comfortableness to the comfortability to just let go of what doesn't and recognize like, okay, just because it worked for them doesn't mean I have to do it. Right? And take back that power and take back that energy instead of giving it away, all of it away to someone that you think is gonna solve all your problems for you. Okay, so let's just kind of recap the five unexpected energy drains. Number one was over processing your healing. Number two was carrying what isn't yours. Number three is bypassing real emotions. Number four was staying in indecision for far too long. And five was prioritizing formulas over your own faith in yourself. So if you've been tired and you don't know why, then this is your invitation back to um, fueling your own self again, right? Taking back your energy. And um, your energy is sacred, so be conscious and aware of how you're spending it, and hopefully this encourages you to spend it on things that are truly aligned for you. um yeah, let's see. So again, if this resonated, feel free to reach out, let me know what did, and maybe if some of these things are relatable to you, because I know definitely when I was coming up with this list, I was like, whoa, some some of these I definitely was guilty of, and now just being aware of the fact that I was doing those was very empowering, and then also an easy fix because now that you're conscious of it and aware of it, you realize, oh my gosh, I don't have to do that anymore, right? And you feel so much more energized. You feel so much more at peace. You sleep better, and you feel more rested to give your energy to things that truly matter for you. So I hope, again, this message helped you. I will see you guys all next time at the next video. Have a great weekend. Bye.